Hi, everyone. I'm Anne-Marie Green.
And I'm Vladimir Dutip. Missouri could become the first state in the country without an abortion clinic. It's a story you'll see first on CBSN.
CBS News reporter Kate Smith has been following the story from the very beginning. Kate, you just sort of give us the latest on this announcement.
So, Vlad and Marie, today's announcement comes from Planned Parenthood, and it comes after weeks of a back and forth with state officials and the clinic in Missouri. And if the license is set to expire on Friday, and if they don't renew it, there will be no more legal abortion in the state of Missouri.
The last remaining abortion clinic in Missouri says it may have to stop operations this week. It would be the first time since the Supreme Court's 1973 decision in Roe v. Wade that a state would be without an abortion clinic.
The state of Missouri is poised to shut down the last healthcare center that's providing abortion care in the state of Missouri, leaving more than 1 million reproductive age Missourians without access to the fundamental health care that they deserve in their state.
Dr. Colleen McNicholas has been providing abortions at Planned Parenthood of St. Louis for nearly a decade.
For a long time, that process has been politicized. But this year, the process has been much more aggressive and clearly with a focus to shut down abortion care.
According to the Guttmacher Institute, which tracks reproductive issues, 24 states have targeted regulations of abortion providers, also known as trap laws.
I like how Missouri is doing it because, Missouri has been leading the pack for probably 10, 20 years on abortion legislation.
Brian Westbrook is the director of St. Louis's Coalition for Life. Volunteers with his organization wait outside Planned Parenthood's clinic, trying to convince patients not to go through with their abortion. In the 1980s, Missouri was one of the first states to pass a so-called trap law, which the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists call unnecessary.
It's incredibly frustrating to have people who have absolutely no medical training telling me how I should be delivering that care, particularly when the things that they are mandated are so contrary to what is actually medically relevant.
In 2008, Missouri had 5 functioning abortion clinics. Today, the state is home to 1. State law requires a 72-hour waiting period where patients visit an abortion clinic, receive counseling, then wait at least 3 days before terminating a pregnancy.
So the 72-hour waiting period has guaranteed to save lives. So they're making this decision in haste. They really haven't sat down and thought through this life-changing surgery that they're going to have.
It assumes that I didn't think about my decision. Those laws assume that I am not capable of making the best decision for my family.
Jennifer Box is currently pregnant with her 4th child, but last year, when she was pregnant with her 3rd, she found out her pregnancy had complications.
We learned that the fetus had a fetal anomaly and would be born into a life of agony. And so in March of that year, we decided to terminate the pregnancy.
And how far along were you at that point?
I was 15 weeks when I had the termination.
That's when she was introduced to Missouri's abortion regulations.
My husband and I refer to that as the Book of Shame.
The Missouri Informed Consent booklet is given to each woman at an abortion clinic before her mandatory 72-hour waiting period begins.
It's a book to intimidate you and to share their personal beliefs about gestation, not to give you medically accurate information when making a decision about having an abortion.
What I would say is a 24-hour waiting period allows them to think about it. A 72-hour waiting period allows them more time to really decompress what they've heard.
To think that I needed state-mandated time to think about that is insulting.
Unless state officials renew the clinic's license, beginning Saturday, other women like Jennifer will have to travel to neighboring states to receive a legal abortion.
I am pregnant right now, and I'm outside of the legal guidelines of when you could get an abortion in Missouri. If something's wrong, I won't be able to do anything in the state we live in. And that feels awful in a way I don't really know how to articulate.
Planned Parenthood says it plans to fight if their license is not renewed.
We will do whatever we need. We will go to court. We will be in the media. We will be present and engaging people in this discussion, in this fight.
And Kate is here with us now. This is such important reporting, Kate. I want to know, are state officials expected to renew the clinic's license by Friday? That's the deadline.
As of right now, no. I spoke to Planned Parenthood this morning before this story broke, and they are expecting that they will not renew the license and that there will be at least a temporary disruption in service for women in Missouri.
So there's a counter argument in that the people of Missouri elected these lawmakers, right, and they passed these laws. And it's not like you can't have an abortion somewhere else in the country. You could just drive to another state. Who's affected by this?
That's, I think, what's so heartbreaking about this story is that the people who are affected by this are the women who can't take another day off of work. They can't afford to drive 4 hours to the one clinic that's in their state. And they really can't afford to travel 5 hours to go to Illinois. And, you know, one thing we spoke about in that package was there's the 72-hour waiting period. So you have to do that 2 times. And so really who gets impacted by this are low-income minority women who don't have the means not only to have an abortion, but to have a child.
So what happens if the state refuses to renew this clinic's license? I know you, in your piece, we see members of Planned Parenthood saying they're prepared to fight it, but legally, what are their options?
There's not a lot. All of this is perfectly legal in the state of Missouri. They've been, since the 1980s, they have been passing laws waiting for this day. They're called TRAP laws, Targeted Regulation of Abortion Providers. They basically, what they do is they regulate these clinics out of existence. They mandate how wide the hallways have to be. They mandate
Of the clinics.
Of the clinics. And all of these things such that you end up like Missouri with one clinic. And then that clinic is so vulnerable to something like this in this news.
So the governor also signed another one of those abortion ban laws in Missouri. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so that is a huge, sweeping, omnibus anti-abortion package. It has an 8-week ban. It has a cascading ladder of bans in case that 8-week ban isn't found constitutional. So they're very pragmatic in this bill. There's a trigger law in case Roe v. Wade is overturned. Abortion's automatically illegal in Missouri. A host of other things, but I think the real irony of all of this is that even though they passed an abortion ban just last week, what's going to close the last or I should say what will stop abortions in the state, you know, has nothing to do with that abortion ban.
That's really, we've been talking a lot about these trigger laws and stuff like that, but this regulating of abortion clinics, that's been going on for a while in a number of different states.
Exactly.
And, yeah, it's really interesting, Kate. It's great reporting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing it.
You can read Kate's article right now on CBSNews.com. CBS News has reached out to the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services. We have not yet heard back.
Be sure to tune in to CBSN during our 2 p.m. hour to hear from Planned Parenthood President and CEO Dr. Leanna Wen. It will be her first interview following today's announcement.